So I'm pretty sure some of you have heard this story, but the fact that it hasn't received any major coverage through the mainstream media is very telling. I'm not surprised, and nobody should be surprised, but it just goes to show you where we're at as a country right now. This is one of the most egregious stories that I've ever heard involving children.
Everyone, I'm Anthony Antoine, and topping the rundown here tonight, an absolutely devastating story. Two toddlers were allegedly sexually assaulted in a bathroom at the Galleria by multiple men. One of the men was a mall employee. Fox 26's Natalie He is joining us now live from the Galleria with the disturbing details. Natalie.
Well, Anthony, court documents reveal that there were up to 7 men involved in the sex assault. It apparently happened at one of the public bathrooms here at the Galleria Mall. And tonight, one local organization has an important message for parents.
The FBI has arrested Arthur Hector Fernandez III and charged the 29-year-old with sexual exploitation of children. Fernandez is pictured here on his private Instagram with the username allegedly Hector. His account was named in court documents that detailed the disturbing allegations that he and at least 6 other unidentified men sexually assaulted and raped a toddler at what appeared to be a Galleria Mall bathroom. Court documents say last month the Australian Centre to Counter Child Exploitation reported 4 explicit videos found on the dark web to the FBI in which at least 2 toddlers ages 2 and 3 were filmed being sexually and verbally assaulted by multiple men at once. Relatives of the toddlers told investigators Fernandez was a friend and fellow Galleria employee who offered to watch the kids while they were at work at the mall.
I think as parents, you want to go with your gut, but also as policymakers, people need to start figuring out how do we make sure that we have safe environments for our kids so they don't have to, parents don't have to wait on a creepy uncle or a neighbor that they think is safe.
Dr. Bob Sanborn is the president and CEO of the organization Children at Risk. He says parents should look out for certain telltale signs that their child may have been abused.
Kids, after they've been out with someone who you thought you trusted them, they will sort of withdraw. They'll be more quiet. And so look for those changes in your children. Bedwetting, not eating, all of these things are sort of signs that something isn't right with your child. In this case, we're talking about toddlers. They really couldn't communicate. They didn't know what was right and wrong.
Now, Dr. Sanborn also suggests that parents remain vigilant about who they're trusting with.
That is just one of the most stomach turning things I've ever heard. According to the news report, this 29-year-old man named Arthur Hector Fernandez, he worked at the mall before, of course, this incident occurred. He's 29 years old. I don't know if he's a native of Houston, Texas. I don't know where he's originally from, but he's clearly a Hispanic individual. And he clearly is a member of the LGBT community. And what makes this situation even worse is the 7 males that did this, including him, actually had the audacity to record it. They went into the Houston Galleria shopping mall, took these 2 young kids, these 2 and 3-year-old young boys, into a restroom, and they gang violated them. I don't want to use the R word, but they violated them and had the audacity to film it. And it was only able to be discovered because the Australian Centre to Counter Child Exploitation, they alerted the FBI because somebody was able to alert the Australian authorities because they saw it on the dark web. Now, for those of you that don't know, the dark web it's a very, very, very crazy place. Only a select percentage of society even knows how to access the dark web, but it's where you can go and find stuff that you're not supposed to find. You can buy weapons, explosives, illegal firearms, drugs, and of course child porn, which is absolutely egregious. And my whole thing is I just clearly believe that in this society we've gotten way too soft, the fact that this gentleman and 6 other guys decided to join him in this demonic act, that's the only word that I can use to describe it, is demonic. It says a lot about where we're at as a society. It says a whole lot. They should not have even been bold enough to do something like this. There are some states that have proposed capital punishment for people that do crimes like this, and I'm not opposed to that at all. I think that capital punishment is the only form of justice for this type of, situation. I don't believe there's any other way to punish these people than to, put them down. That's just literally the only way. That's literally the only form of justice that would fit this crime. Those young boys are never going to be the same again. Any grown man that can put his equipment inside of a child, boy or girl, is a monster. And according to the reports, not only were they violating these children, they were seen on film yelling and just physically abusing those children in other ways as well. These are absolutely monstrous individuals. Absolutely disgusting. Now, as far as I know, the state of Florida did pass legislation last year where they can, ask for the death penalty for a person who violates a child under the age of 12 years old. And if I had my way, it would be a statute in place for all 50 states. All 50 states would be able to do it. And of course, every state doesn't have capital punishment. Most states have outlawed capital punishment, but the federal government can always step in and make it happen if they can find a way to put federal charges on these people. But I don't know how that would apply to a case like this. I'm not a legal person, obviously, but Florida does have a statute that allows them to do that. This is just absolutely despicable. Absolutely despicable. Prayers for those young children. I don't have any information about the children. Obviously, they're keeping all the information, completely sealed, which makes sense. I don't think they deserve to have their information made public, but those kids are never going to be the same again. And I just don't know of any other way to bring justice to those young boys except for capital punishment. Like, share, subscribe. Peace.